except that we chose to do this on the rainiest, windiest, coldest day of our entire trip. Hi there, I'm Denise, the Koala Mama. We recently took a one-week cruise to Alaska, and in preparation, we watched countless videos on cruising to Alaska and cruising on the ship we were going to be on, the Norwegian Encore. We watched videos that talked about the features of the ship, the food of the ship, and seriously, everything you would ever need to know about cruising to Alaska on the Norwegian Encore. So I also watched a lot of videos about what to bring, given that we were traveling in October, and when it comes to weather, we definitely are spoiled Californians. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what I'm glad I packed, what I really shouldn't have packed, and what I wish I had packed for this Alaskan cruise. So the things that I'm glad I'm packed. Right off the bat, magnetic hooks. You'll see in a lot of videos that this is a #1 recommendation, which makes perfect sense because the walls of most ship cabins are made of metal. Now, our cabin had 2 hooks already provided or whatever, and they were perfect for our 2 heavy jackets, but these extra magnetic hooks allowed us to hang our lighter weight jackets, umbrellas, and other various things that we kind of wanted to keep handy. So I purchased these hooks from Amazon, and when I first took them out of the box and I put them on the wall, I was a little perplexed because they were literally just these tiny little nubs. I bought these little magnet things that I thought were hooks, but they're not. They're just these little nubs. And it doesn't hold the jacket. And you couldn't hang anything on them. And I thought for sure I had ordered hooks. So I just left it, went and did something else, and came back and looked at the box to make sure that what I ordered were actually hooks. The box said hooks. So I emptied out the box, and lo and behold, in a little Ziploc were the actual hooks. So they just screwed into the base. Figured that out after I tried to snap them into the base, and that didn't work. But once they were screwed in, they were perfect, and they worked wonderfully. These particular ones hold 5 pounds. Quite frankly, I don't think they hold that much, but you could just kind of group a couple of them together and they worked perfectly. So along the same idea as the magnetic hooks are magnetic clips.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the captain speaking to you from the...
I actually already had these. I got them at the dollar store. These are perfect for our excursion tickets, for the daily itinerary and, information on special ship activities that we wanted to participate in, and keeping all of the clutter off of the desk, and nothing was ever lost. Well, except for my room key, and we'll get to that later. So I've been looking for some kind of a clear pouch for my phone, actually for hands-free videotaping. Now, I know that most YouTubers use a GoPro with a body harness type of thing. It's still a little not in my comfort zone yet. So I thought, well, maybe a lanyard type of thing would work well. So I found this waterproof plastic pouch for the phone on Amazon. And I thought, this is exactly what we needed for rainy Alaska. And it actually worked perfectly. Now, it does not work for hands-free videotaping. If you can just kind of think about it, you're walking, your phone is bouncing back and forth. It does not make for good video. However, it did totally keep my phone dry, even though I took a lot of video and myself was getting very, very wet. And of course, it does not come with a lanyard, even though it shows the lanyard in the picture. It does not come with a lanyard, but it was a perfect excuse for me to buy a koala lanyard. So along with keeping my phone dry, I needed to keep my feet dry. So I bought these waterproof shoes. We were never in heavy sustained rain, which is actually kind of surprising. However, we were still in wet conditions. My feet always stayed perfectly dry. They're not as comfortable as walking shoes, but they weren't uncomfortable. I don't know that you would necessarily go hiking in them, although I would not necessarily be hiking in anything. So I hate wearing hats, especially the knit hats that keep your head and ears oh so warm, but look oh so ridiculous on me. So I have this knit headband that I've actually had for a couple of years. I don't wear it too often in California, but I take it with me anytime I travel to a colder climate. It keeps my ears warm without looking too ridiculous on me. I am new to the packing cube game, and I will tell you though, it is a game changer. So this is about my third trip using packing cubes, and it is especially useful on a cruise. So I am by no means a seasoned camper, but my assumption is that regardless of the cruise line, your cabin is not going to have drawers. It's just going to have open shelving. So being able to keep smaller items like your like scarves and mittens and whatnot, as well as your underclothes, all contained in that packing cube, really helped keep things nice and organized. So we always travel with a lightweight drawstring backpack, and it was especially helpful on this trip. We kept it on one of the hooks on our wall, and so we could grab it as soon as we were leaving. It was great to throw our umbrellas in so we didn't have to carry them around. Obviously great for any purchases that we made while we were out and about. And it also was really helpful to be able to put our lighter weight jackets or sweaters in, because sometimes when we were waiting for the disembarkation for the excursions, sometimes that wait was kind of long, and it got a little toasty waiting with all of those clothes on. So it was nice to be able to take them off and just throw them in the backpack and not have to carry them around. So another item that I always travel with is a small over-the-shoulder handbag that I actually call my walking around purse. I've had this one for about 15, maybe even 20 years. It's definitely time for a new one, but it definitely served its purpose on this trip. It's the right size for my phone and a few other necessities like your ID, a charge card, lotion, etc., and your room key, which I lost on the first day. So on the first day, I was walking around the ship and just using my regular backpack purse. I don't know if we hadn't gotten our luggage yet or if I just hadn't made a decision to switch, but whatever. I wanted to keep my phone handy, so it was in my back pocket of my pants, and for some reason I thought I needed to keep my room key handy, so it also was in the pocket of my pants. So literally the first time I pulled my phone out, my room key ended up on the floor, and a nice guest picked it up for me because I didn't realize it even happened. And it happened like multiple times, and I'd always caught it. Well, at some point I did not realize that I had lost my room key. So I went to customer service, had to get a new room key, and after that switched from my super cute Disney Mickey as a ghost that glows in the dark backpack and carried my walking around purse for the rest of the trip. So interesting little side note though, while I was in line for customer service to get my new room key, there was an agent over at the side who yells, "Anybody who's still waiting for their baggage, come over here." And I'm thinking to myself, there are people that haven't gotten their baggage yet. We left, Seattle like 2 hours earlier. I'm thinking, shouldn't we have ascertained that everyone had their baggage before we left the port? I certainly hope those people got their luggage. So I have been on 2 other cruises, and I did not have an issue with seasickness, but I did bring motion sickness pills just in case, and I actually am glad that I did. Now, on the 3rd or 4th night, the seas were a little rough, and I'm laying in bed, and instead of the gentle rocking that was wonderful for falling asleep, it was a little bit more bouncy. I wasn't feeling bad, but I thought, I'm just going to take one of those pills just to be on the safe side. I slept like a baby. Never had any issues with nausea. I don't know if I would have had a problem, but I'm glad that I didn't. So I definitely recommend bringing those motion sickness pills with you or something for motion sickness anytime that you cruise. So many people when they travel, myself included, do not pack their slippers with them and opt just for some warm socks to wear to keep their feet warm. I did decide to pack my slippers, which I will say are not very big. Um, but I'm really glad that I did. It was so nice to come in after a cold, wet excursion and put my feet in my nice, cozy slippers, which are koalas, of course. So the last thing that I'm really glad that I packed is my eye mask. Now, I always travel with an eye mask because I'm married to a man who, for whatever reason, likes to have light in the room in the morning. And with a balcony view of the Alaskan and Canadian coastline, you can bet that we had that curtain open 24/7. Having an eye mask meant that I was not awakened at some ungodly hour like, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So things that I should not have packed. Luckily, this is actually a very short list. And the first item, which is possibly a little TMI, and I apologize, but I do have plantar fasciitis and a bone spur in one of my feet. And icing my heel helps with the pain. And I was anticipating a lot of walking on this trip, so was anticipating a lot of foot pain as well. So my regular ice pad was too heavy to pack, so I opted for an old school ice bag. In my mind, I guess I was thinking like in a hotel, there would be ice machines on every level. That is not the case on a ship. So in order to get ice, we had to go down 6 decks to the Garden Cafe, which would not have been the hugest inconvenience because our cabin was literally right above the cafe. So it was just down the elevator and around the corner. But still, apparently, my foot never hurt enough to warrant that extra effort. However, I actually think I will continue to pack this little ice bag whenever we travel because it really doesn't take up a lot of room nor have a lot of weight to it. So another item that I always travel with is a small power strip. Now, if you take a power strip on a cruise ship, you do need to make sure it does not have a surge protector. For whatever reason, that is not allowed on a ship. This is just a tiny 3-outlet extension. I got it, I think, at the Dollar Tree, actually. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but we on this trip actually didn't need it. We found that the outlets that were provided were quite sufficient for our needs. So one hack that I really liked was on a channel called Lifewell Cruise, but ultimately I should have skipped it. So it's a travel hack for both clothes washing and dishwashing. And you take a sponge, you put either dish soap or laundry detergent on it, let it dry, cut it into squares, throw it in a Ziploc bag, and then in your room or your cabin or whatever, take one of the little squares, get it wet in the sink, and it activates the soap, and then you can wash your dishes or wash your clothes in the sink. She also recommended bringing a large Ziploc bag, which I did, in case your sink doesn't hold water, so you could put water in the Ziploc bag to wash your clothes. So I really love this hack. And in my mind, I thought, I will not pack as many underclothes and wash them while I'm on this trip instead. That was not a really great plan for a few reasons. First of all, when I went to wash my clothes, for some reason, the laundry detergent really did not activate, and I wasn't really sure if I ever got my clothes that clean. I don't know that it was a hack or the laundry detergent because it was not my normal laundry detergent that I used. The other thing, though, was we couldn't have a room steward in our room for a day because I had all of my delicates hanging on the wall. And the only man who should be seeing that is my husband. So, yeah, that was not a really smart thing. And my whole point was thinking, I will save space. Well, by the time I packed these sponges and the bag and the 2 clotheslines that I had to purchase to hang my clothes on, I didn't save any space, and I definitely did not save weight. So while I do like this hack, and I probably will bring these sponges and bags on future trips in case, you never know when you might need to wash something. We also travel with a picnic bag that has like plates and silverware. And so this will be a nice little way to wash those things. It definitely was not something I needed to bring on this particular trip. However, there is a bright side. I shared this hack with my youngest child who had just purchased a camper van with their wife, and they were super happy with this little hack. And I gave them one of the 2 clotheslines So now they're set for washing their dishes and their clothes on their little adventures. So finally, the things that I wish I had packed. So about 3 weeks before our trip, as I started getting, I'd placed orders for things, they were coming in, I was thinking of things I wanted to pack. I put a bag in our bedroom and started putting all of this stuff in the bag just to kind of keep it all together in one particular location. I highly, highly recommend this if you are planning any kind of a larger trip. I also highly, highly recommend that when you think of something that you want, you put it in the bag when you think of it. So the first thing that I wish we had packed were binoculars. Now you think that this would be a no-brainer going to Alaska, and so did we. Now it wasn't because we don't own binoculars, we actually have 2 pair. And it's not that I did not know where they are located, I know exactly where both of them are located. It is because when we thought about the binoculars, we did not grab said binoculars and put them in the bag in the bedroom where we were housing all of the things we wanted to pack. So when it came time, the day before to actually pack our clothes and stuff, binoculars were not even on the radar. And we did not even realize we did not have the binoculars until we were on the ship. So another thing that I wish I had packed were warmer thermals and warmer socks. So I did buy a set of thermals for this trip. I knew that I was wearing them under other clothes, so I bought some that were lighter weight, but still had really good reviews as far as keeping people warm. I didn't really think that the top anyway was any warmer than a regular t-shirt, so I wish I had gotten warmer ones. And socks, same thing. I bought a pair that were 18% wool. And I very distinctly remember somebody writing, "I live in Idaho and these keep my feet warm." Well, maybe I'm a spoiled California, but my feet were cold a lot of the time. So there were 2 other hacks from, again, Life Well Cruised that I wish I had followed through on. They were on my list of things to purchase and I just never got around to them. And that is the small organizing cubes that you get at the dollar store, as well as a collapsible laundry basket. So as I think I have mentioned, the cruising cabins do not have drawers, they just have shelves. There's like little cubbies down here. So having some of those collapsible organizing cubes would have been really nice to just kind of corral things instead of having them spread all over these shelves. And while we were fine throwing our dirty clothes on the bottom of the closet floor, it would have been nice to have a laundry basket to make it a little bit more organized. So I also wish that I had brought a nightlight for the bathroom, and I think that this is yet another thing that I need to make as a regular travel item because, just like in hotel rooms, the cabin room, there was no light in the bathroom, and when you turn on the light in the bathroom, it is very bright, which is kind of obnoxious at 2 o'clock in the morning when you have to get up to go to the bathroom. Next are bathing suits and sandals, which leads me to a few stories, actually kind of all intertwined together on this particular topic. So we knew we were not going to be doing any sunbathing, but we thought we might take a dip in the hot tub. So as we were packing, I mentioned to Jeff, make sure that you pack your swim trunks. And he's like, "Oh, already packed." Great. So we're in Seattle the day before we're going to leave. And I realized while I had so sweetly reminded my dear husband to pack his swim trunks, I completely forgot to pack my own swimsuit. We were not far from a Target, so we got up in the morning, walked to Target to get some Starbucks, and I'm going to pick up a bathing suit. I'm assuming there's something on the clearance rack. Well, apparently swimsuits in October in Seattle are not a thing. They're a thing in California. They're not a thing in Seattle. Not a swimsuit to be found. So I opted for a pair of shorts and a tank top. And all the while knowing, okay, if I actually have to wear this, I'm going to have to wear bra and panties with it. Sigh. While I am already fully uncomfortable wearing a bathing suit anyway, just the thought of how ridiculous I was going to look was almost cringeworthy. Maybe we'll never visit a hot tub. I was wrong. So did I mention that these were made of terry cloth? You know what happens to terry cloth when it gets wet? Yeah, it gains like 10 pounds. I also bought probably a size larger in the shorts that I should have, because when I stood up in those 10-pound shorts, they did not want to stay on my body. So in addition to a bathing suit, we also thought We should have brought sandals. So we did decide one day we were going to get a day pass to the thermal spa. So we were there and decided we wanted some lunch. And we saw some other people eating and asked them, and they said, you can bring the lunch back. So we're like, okay, fine, we'll go over to the garden cafe, get some lunch, bring it back. Now, here's the thing. The garden cafe and the spa are on the same deck. One's at one end of the ship, one's at the other end of the ship. And in between is the pool deck, the open air pool deck. So we get out of the spa. We've been in the water. We're all wet in our stuff. And then we decided we're just going to throw on the nice little lightweight bathrobes they provide and head across. How bad could that be? Head across in our bare feet. Bare feet. Now, this wouldn't be such a horrible thing, except that we chose to do this on the rainiest, windiest, coldest day of our entire trip. Not only is it raining, but oh man, that wind is chilly. So within 30 seconds of being outside, our feet were literally numb. It was horrible. And of course, as we're walking across, I slipped and fell on my knee. So that was lovely. Anyway, we finally get to the restaurant. They won't let us in because you cannot go in with wet bathing suit and no shoes. So we have to turn around, go all the way back. Fine. Change our clothes, go get food. As I'm changing my clothes, I realize I did not bring dry underclothes. Remember I said I have to wear my underclothes with my faux bathing suit outfit. So I have to wear wet underclothes. So I will just leave it to you to realize what parts of my sweatshirt were wet as I arrived to get my lunch. Ridiculous stories aside, quite frankly, having sandals, our feet still would have gotten wet. They still would have been cold, and I still would have slipped and fell on my knee. And we still wouldn't have been able to go in to the restaurant because we still had a warm, wet bathing suit. So, I don't think that sandals would have helped in this situation, but we probably will make sure that we pack sandals from now on. So finally, hair conditioner. Now, I would swear that at least one video that I watched specifically said that the Norwegian Encore provided hair conditioner in the cabins. Now, I normally travel with hair conditioner because normally hotels do not provide that, and I do not like washing my hair without hair conditioner. But because I saw this video, I purposely took hair conditioner out of my toiletry bag. Not that it takes up that much space or that much weight, but whatever, I took it out. And then lo and behold, they do not provide hair conditioner. So I wish that I had brought my hair conditioner. Now, little side story to this story. If I had recorded this part of the video before the last day of our trip, this would be the end of the video. However, as I was packing up everything on the last day, I got my toiletry bag out and realized I had a tube of hair conditioner in my toiletry bag the whole entire trip. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you found this video informative, interesting, maybe even a bit entertaining. But most of all, I hope that you have a quality day.